Hello, friends and family. I can't wait to give you episode 1. So, I created this podcast, this channel, this content to give back what I want to share. On a normal basis, I am just sharing this knowledge with myself. I love sports. I go on ESPN daily, and I figured why don't I make a recap? I created LLC with my friend a couple years back. Obviously, if you don't have a purpose for a LLC, it's kind of pointless. My friend and I, we canceled the business, but I still have the LLC, the bank account, and I want to repurpose it. I want to give Camstone Holdings life, and this is Sports at Camstone. Today's episode 1, and I really want to just start off by saying thank you for joining me, and thank you for going on this journey where I'm going to give you daily sports news, and not just sports news. I'm going to give you a piece of knowledge that I know from just going through it. I'm 28, but I already had a few jobs. I've been working for 10 years, and I have property, and I want to share. I want to share as much as I can. So keep an eye out for more stuff from Camstone. It's not just sports, but heavily sports, because this is a passion. This isn't a job. I'm doing this for fun, and I can't wait to keep this ride going. I plan on doing this show every day, Monday through Friday, from the hours of 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So keep an eye out. I'll be going live. I have stats. I'll prepare. It's gonna be more of a recap format. Nothing too wild. But sports is back. That's the main thing. Sports is back. I'm so happy. I know everyone else is so happy. There's sports for every single flavor. It's not just your standard baseball, NBA. We have hockey. We have UFC. It's a great time to be a fan, and we're all at home. What else are we gonna do? I've watched everything on Netflix already, so why not get invested into a sports team? Playoffs, it's the best. So I also hope everyone is well. This is a crazy time, and we'll be talking more about that. But let's we're all in this together. Everyone stay healthy, and I hope that this video can help you guys help you go through this time better, just like me sharing is helping me. So just starting off the bat, NBA is back. It was awesome opening day. Yeah, unfortunately, Zion isn't getting the same amount of playing time that when he was in his stride, he was getting. He was done like that Lakers and Pelicans game right before the break happened was spectacular. But now we're back to normal. Pelicans are not looking so good right now. They dropped 2 in a row. Zion's playing limited minutes. But I'll get into a little bit more. The Lakers played last night. That was an interesting game too. Bol, he has become one of my favorite players. There's a lot of versatility in his game, and he had one sick play that I'll be talking about. And yeah, let me just get into the recap of yesterday. So the Heat beat the Nuggets 125-105. Big win by the Heat. Nuggets looked really good with that death lineup of, it's more like tall. I don't know if it's necessarily a death lineup, but they are tall. They're, I just want to be 5'10". They're all 7 feet. They got it going on. But 20 points. Butler had 22 points. Nuggets shot only 22% from 3-point land. They were 8 from 35. It doesn't matter who won this game, because for the fans, Bull produced. He had this sick, I think it was a block or a rebound. He grabbed the rebound, started taking it up the fast break, which I think is so cool for a big man to do. I'm not even a big man. I'm a big man, but I can't dribble. Like, I can't run the point. He's running point, and he's about like 10 feet from half court, and he sees Plumlee at, right on the rim. He does a nice slick bounce pass, reaches him. Everyone needs to check out the video. I'm still early in this process, so I'm not too good at bringing in the highlights, but I'm telling you, find it. The Thunder beat the Jazz 110-94. Chris Paul, he's a winner. No matter where he goes, he has that leadership skill and the skill in general to carry a team. I really like that team. Guild, he's got a tough name. Shane Guild. I'll get better at it. And Chris Paul, Steven Adams. It's a fun team. But here another point. Are the Jazz tired? They played on opening day against the Pelicans. It's gonna be a tough 8 games. Everyone's getting their sea legs under them. Obviously 5-on-5s. They were practicing, but these games we saw LeBron after game 1. Also, the timing makes no sense. You're on the East Coast. We're only doing those timed games on the West Coast because you can't control it. You're on the East Coast. Make the games earlier. I'm glad that the NBA players have all day to play the games. Forget up, Of course, we'll watch the games, but I felt 9 to 12. They play till midnight, and then they have to try and recover and sleep, and then wake up the next day. That I feel like that was tough. But Clippers beat the Pelicans 126-103. So I was talking about how the Pelicans dropped their second in a row. This was the second. It was I didn't watch the game, but I saw the highlights. It was very, very, not the same Pelicans. I felt like they were tired as well. So maybe it's just getting the sea legs. Clippers didn't look tired because they have some shooters. Paul George lights out once again, 8 of 11 shooting. I think he's going to be a big problem because he's one of those two-way players, him and Kawhi, and now they're on the same team. Makes you think, like, once the Magic City quarantine's over, how good that team's going to look. Oh, the next game, the Pacers beat the Sixers 127-121. All I really need to say is TJ Warren. He went off, 53 points. They said the stat was he's the last player since Jermaine O'Neal with 55 that has had over 50. He looked great. I don't remember how many three-pointers he made, but he made enough to make the Sixers start arguing with each other. It looked bad. I feel like if Ben Simmons learns a three-pointer, they just need some three-point specialist because I'm seeing Embiid tossing up threes. They're making them to they got to pick who's going to make all the threes. But TJ Warren, it was awesome. I saw as soon as he hit 44, I didn't see any way he wasn't going to get 50 because he was just locked in. It didn't look like he talked to anyone. He was just locked in. It was great to see. I saw Terrence Ross on Pat McAfee the other day just saying it's shooter's delight, and it honestly seems like it. I'm seeing a lot of shooters making a lot of shots. Raptors beat the Lakers 107-92. So the defending champs, they're looking good. They're second in the East right now. I think this was their 47th win. They're looking good. Lakers, they seem kind of flattish. Obviously, second game, they're still in first place, but we it looked like there were some lineup changes too. So I think everything with the bubble and their new team, it's all just come together. I noticed J.R. Smith didn't have many minutes. How will he get incorporated in? I think maybe he's a person to look out for. Like as the season develops, they have six more games, and obviously they're first in the West, so they'll be playing. But they're playing a team that's coming in hungry, so they need to hit their stride a little bit to watch out for that upset. Lowry had a huge game with 33 points. I was watching some of the highlights. I didn't realize Lowry, like, obviously knew he was good. I watched him back when DeRozan was there on the Raptors as well. But he's a shooter. He could pull up, and the way he was shifting through the lane to get layups, it was awesome. Uh, and each of their starters I noticed were averaging a plus 20. So they clearly were dominating the Lakers. Also, we had now shifting to Major League Baseball. I'm gonna keep this brief. I didn't watch too many games. I'm a Yankees fan, so I watched the highlights of that one. But let's just be thankful it's going on because slowly teams are getting kicked off the island. Uh, it's it's really crazy what's going on. I really think that Major League Baseball should invest in their own business infrastructure. Creating like a dome stadium that the Major League Baseball owns, or they need to find a sponsor similar to the NBA that builds a field. They need to really protect their assets going forward. I think right now, each ballpark has their own stadium, but without the fans, what is the point? I bet if you had a centralized location that Major League Baseball owned, all the local videos can come. They can figure it out. We're in 2020 now. Everything is digital. So that's just my opinion on that. But let me get to some of the scores, and obviously every day I'll talk a little bit more on each piece. But the Yankees beat the Lakers, or Lakers. The Yankees beat the Red Sox 5-2. I was gonna say something bad, but let's get deeper into the season before I start cursing the Red Sox. Gio hit a fat grand slam. It was great to see. It was like three singles in a row, pop, 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 and then Gio, fat salami, poof, out of here. It was, baseball's coming back. I'm looking forward to it. And as I mentioned, the Phillies and the Blue Jays, that game was postponed due to COVID, and Marlins and National was postponed as well. Just going through the rankings, Yankees are first, Minnesota's first, Oakland's tied for first. I will say, fuck the Astros. They're in second right now. On the National League, Braves are in first, Cubs are in first, Rockies are in first. But being first this year actually doesn't even matter. In 2020, if people aren't aware, Major League Baseball switching to 16-game playoffs. So that means half of the teams are getting in. It's this is a new year for sports, new year for everyone. The other sport I'll be talking about today is the UFC. It was one of the wacky card. I'm a huge UFC fan because it changes every weekend is a different lineup. There's no fan affiliation; it's fighter affiliation. So you could be interested in every event, and there's always new fighters that you could find interesting. But this card was wacky. I really found it hilarious. Paul Felder was keeping track of the cup shots, and the crazy part is there was 11 by the end of the, I don't know the number, but it was like 11 or 13. It was a high number of cup shots. Almost every single fight had like a break for cup shots. Uh, there was one fight where they took a point away. I think there was a draw. I don't know if it was cup shot related, but there was a draw. Why else was it wacky? Uh, Trevor Giles fainted right before he was about to fight. So right before he was about to fight, he fainted. They canceled the fight. His opponent was trying to find someone whose other fight got canceled because of COVID, like the day before. Dana White said they couldn't make the matchup. They tried calling him, I and like they put some cryptic wording. I think he just started getting drunk, and that eliminated that fight. I think Kevin Holland will be fighting soon. Dana White kind of alluded to the fact that he might be fighting next week, like on this Saturday coming up. Either way, it's so awesome that the UFC is having fights, and it's smart what they're doing too, because they do have international fighters, and by producing this content, they need the content because now's the time to really grow the sport where other sports are trying to sustain. So UFC's in the growth mode still. They're only about 20 to 30 years in their business cycle. So it's really cool. It's really cool to watch. They're really getting like a standard operations going down. I really like what they're doing. It's exciting time to be a UFC fan, and an exciting time if you're a new UFC fan, because we didn't have, as someone who's been watching the UFC for a while, we didn't always have fights this often and this quality as well. There's a lot of good fights now. I'll start going through the card. If you're gonna go back and watch the fight, definitely main card was more interesting, but Bobby Green versus Landonada, and I might mess up some of these names. Don't put it against me, but that was such a great fight. Bobby Green, he just came off a Clay Guida fight. After the fight, he said my hand broke in that fight, but he still fought. And I think this was a 1 to 2 month turnaround. It's insane, but that was a great fight. Lot of hard hits, and the crazy thing without the fans, you could really hear them punch. It's a real sport. This is something we haven't really seen before. I think this passes boxing as excitement because it mixes in both that regulation of boxing and the wild of kickboxing, and then the variable of wrestling, changing levels. UFC is a great sport, but clearly I'm a fan. The next fight I found interesting was Vicente Luque's knockout. There was a cup shot in that fight too, and then Vicente Luque's fighting at a really great level. He had that loss of Wonder Boy, but after that, he's just been taking out names. I think he deserves some better competition. I like Anthony Pettis, maybe. That would be a good fight. Nate Diaz, he called out Nate. But I think Nate should get Connor. But I kind of like the Stephen Thompson rematch if that happens, or give him some curveball like Robbie Lawler. Vicente Luque could hang. The next fight, man, this one kind of hurt because Joanne Calderwood was I don't really know, but supposedly was waiting for a title shot, and then she wanted to fight earlier, so she took this fight. She was fighting Jennifer Maia in the 125 women's division flyweight, and it was a quick, Jennifer Maia she got taken down, but on the bottom, specialist, I think she's a black belt, and she caught her in an armbar. Joanne almost got away, but then she, the positioning, she got herself caught even tighter, and she had to tap, and it was unfortunate, but that's the game, and Jennifer Maia won. Really big win for her, and it's looking like she got the number one spot, and Valentina Shevchenko actually called her out, said, "All right, let's go, Jennifer." So it's great to see. She earned her way to that spot, and just excited to see Valentina have an opponent who she could piece up again. It's all for Valentina. The next fight, Brunson. Brunson versus Edmund Shabazian. So Edmund Shabazian is known for training with Ronda Rousey. Everyone's pulling up old footage of Ronda training with Edmund. Edmund was obviously younger at the time, so at that similar weight class, still growing, also learning as well from Ronda. So he had a 0. He was 11-0 going into this fight, and Kurtis Brunson, or Derek Brunson, sorry, Kurtis Blades, Derek Brunson. Sorry guys, but Derek Brunson changed his hair, but same fighting style. I remember his wrestling great, and his if you look at his losses, he's only lost to major players. So going into this fight, he was a 3-1 dog. Dumb, but understanding the 0 on the other side, so they had to kind of go with the ride. But Derek Brunson, man. So first round, fairly even, but Edmund might have pulled the round by the harder hits. But second round, Derek Brunson just picking it up with the wrestling, changing levels, able to get Edmund exhausted. End of the second round, Derek Brunson has top position for about 45 seconds, and he's just teeing off. Edmund's just trying to survive, covering up. Last 10 seconds, Derek Brunson, pop, while, ground and pound. So it looked like Edmund was out with 1 second to go, and Herb Dean was like just trying to end the round. So Edmund got a huge break. If he wanted it, he could have. It's not even if he wanted it. If he had the ability to come back, now he has a 1-minute break. Right before the round started, they brought a doctor in, so that gave another like 45 seconds. But he was pretty much coming into the third round out, and as soon as that round started, Derek Brunson barely. I can't remember the action, but Edmund curled up, and Herb knew like he didn't want in, so you gotta call it at that time. So Derek Brunson, 3-1 dog. I hope he bet on himself, and I'm glad that he came out with this performance. He's a contender. He's always he's back in the mix again. He's gonna have the ability to probably face the winner of Yoel or Uriah Hall. I feel like that's a good one. So we'll see where they go with him. Edmund still young, 22 years old, 11-1 now, but still young guy. This was a win-win matchup for him. I think he has a lot to work on the cardio side. He only had one fight that went the distance. All the other fights ended in the first round before. So this was his second longest fight, and unfortunately it didn't end the way he wanted for him. But I wish him speedy recovery, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again. He looked like a big guy, and I could see him like coming back in that division. Maybe Martin Vettori, but probably get some time. Maybe Vettori and Brunson. That'd be cool. So coming up today, I'm looking forward to NBA, and probably some of the games started already. I woke up kind of late, was up watching sports and preparing for this today, but I'll be up for tomorrow to share with you guys. YouTube only lets you go live after about 24 hours, so I set my account up last night, but I'll be live tomorrow morning. So today we have the Bucks and Rockets. Greek Freak versus the Beard. Looking forward to that. We have the Mavericks versus Suns. Luka versus Booker. It's going to be a lot of scoring. I bet I'm a degenerate at times. I bet I didn't personally bet the over, but I would bet the over. Just saying. You know, Mavericks scored 85 by halftime the other day. Just saying. Yankees versus Red Sox tonight in prime time hours. I will be watching that. I need to give my time to baseball again. I miss the sport. It's my first love, and we are back. 60 games. We're 6-1 right now. Let's. I cannot wait. Also in baseball, Shohei's pitching again. Uh, I don't remember who they're facing, but last time he didn't even get it out. This is a guy who his rookie year was throwing over 100 and hitting 20 home runs. He was the next coming of Babe Ruth. So I really hope he could put it together. I think he might just need more time coming off of Tommy John. But if he, in the longevity, if he can pull it back together, he's one of my favorite players. He has so much upside still. His swing is so silk. We'll see where that goes though. And then we also have Kershaw pitching. So I always like seeing Kershaw because you probably have like 12 strikeouts or like one heavy freak out. So he's one of my favorite players as well. So that I'm gonna wrap it up now. That's all I have on sports. But really, I just want to share with you. I'm here to give all of you entertainment and for me to just recap on sports. I love this, so why not share it with every one of you? I go to a lot of sports games, so uh, as I learn how to use this a little bit better, I'll be bringing in some pictures of the sports games I've gone to and just the stories behind them. I really I'm a huge fan of sports to get away from my corporate job. That's my getaway. It's like turn off corporate, turn on sports. But if if you have any sports that you want me to talk about, I'd love to as well. I'm always open. Just by watching Pat McAfee, like his show, I learned about Aussie rules football. That's awesome. I also started following golf more. I I want to get into soccer. I never ran too much when I was younger, and still as an adult, I will be doing a health camstone as well. I'm someone who had my whole life has been a bigger person. I got to over 310 pounds at one point, but I'm in the 250s right now. I lost about 50 pounds, so that journey's still going though, and I want to be someone who you can see yourself in, and just tell me what you're looking for. I want to learn everything. I'm excited to go on this journey with all of you. So that's episode 1, and I will see you guys tomorrow.